the trends that are important or that were important before AI still matter, but now we're going to be speaking about them in the context of AI. So in the e-learning space, for example, learning analytics, it's always a trend that matters, right? It's always a key point at conferences. We always talk about how we need to track measurable benefits better of our learning products, of our learning experiences. But now there's AI tools to make that a lot more feasible.
Hello, welcome to EdTech Leaders. Today we are pleased to welcome Erick Prospero. He is the CEO and founder, otherwise known as the Chief Ninja at Ninja Tropic. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, Oliver? Excited to be on the podcast.
Yeah, let's dig right in and tell us who you typically serve and what you do for them.
Sounds good. So Ninja Tropic, we are an e-learning agency. Our big claim to fame is custom e-learning development, but what we're better at than anybody else is specifically microlearning and interactive video. I'm pretty sure you've gone through some form of corporate training that's very slide-based, right? They have those weird avatar images that, I don't know, it feels kind of like a slide deck that you're clicking through, very click-next format. We are very good at building SCORM compliant courses that are dynamic, engaging, and feel better, right? I mean, our courses are a good representation of our client's brand, and we typically serve either associations or larger enterprises. Those are our two largest customer verticals.
So I noticed like most of what I see on your site is animation. Do you have an animation background? Did it come from that, or do you just find that animation works particularly well?
Animation works fairly well because of the movement. It's dynamic, and it's what we use to add a little extra engagement. In fact, a lot of other companies, even other e-learning agencies, outsource to us when they want to add video immersive experiences, because what we're really good at is the video side of things, specifically microlearning. Now, how we started in the animation space, my founder is one of my co-founders is an animator. We tend to be a little more biased towards video. A lot of our clients have external learners. So with external learners, you essentially have a non-captive audience, right? They don't have to go through the training. They're paying for a productized learning experience. And the alternatives to video are typically click next slides for this type of content. So video typically performs very well with external learners. If you're monetizing content, it's proven in terms of the companies that perform the best when they're monetizing content. And animation is just more of an easier way to execute that. Well, it used to be. Now you're going to start to see a lot more AI, actual B-roll integrated into our work.
Okay. And so by external learners, you mean not for internal learning, but for their clients, for example.
Yeah. So it can either be an association, let's just say an association specifically for safety and manufacturing. They have a membership base and they're producing content specifically on safety. They sell and monetize their courses. Their courses are a membership benefit, and they're essentially delivering a product experience. Now, what separates this from compliance training for your actual employees is, one, it's tied to your brand, right? It's a reflection of your guys' care. It shows your thought leadership in the industry. And if it's something that you phone in and you're thinking that your customers have to go through, it's not necessarily going to be the best reflection that you want to give. So external learners, they can either be people that are paying for a productized experience, part of your membership base. A lot of times we do customer training for larger enterprises. So let's just say there's a major SaaS company. They want to teach how to use the software, how to engage, how to optimize your business around the software. That's the type of external learner we typically work with.
Okay. And how did you personally get involved and co-found the company?
Well, my background's in the association space. I was working with the Institute for Supply Management. It's an association specifically for supply chain management professionals. I was put in charge of the e-learning department, but I had a very ambitious boss. And every year or every 4 years, Associations go through the same thing, right? There's a need to update the content. They prioritize e-learning. There's either a set of competencies that have to be taught or instructional material that has to be readily available for the industry. The exact same thing was happening to us. And my boss, ML, she's very direct, a, an awesome leader, but kind of scary. She had she had kind of unrealistic expectations, right? She wanted us to compete with these venture-backed firms in terms of developing dynamic content, immersive video experiences, animation, etc. And we had an association budget. So it wasn't great. In fact, I even jumped on calls with different vendors and they laughed at us. So it was just kind of an awkward experience. But the good thing is my background's in supply chain management. I'm very big into business process. And so we broke and developed a system that exclusively focuses on microlearning video content, interactive SCORM courses. And by only doing those things, right, creating productized learning experiences that are immersive, engaging, and building a system that used our internal team of freelancers, instructional designers with we actually ended up building an office out in that time El Salvador, and we set up this nearshoring hybrid situation that created the best of both. Right, we had instructional designers here that combined with our animation studio, our interactive media studio, and create really cool content. So I was kind of a hero with that company for some time until I quit and started doing this for other people. And then the rest is history. I mean, we've been growing relatively quickly in the past almost 9 years.
Hmm, that's amazing. Let's talk about tech for a little bit. So you supply the video, often animation and interactive experiences. Do you use the company's platform and LMS already, or do you set that up for them? How does that work?
It's There's an easy answer to this, but then
Okay.
there's a way how the industry is kind of changing right now because of AI, like everything else. But
Mhm.
yes, we typically work with our clients' LMSs. The output that we produce in is compliant with all major LMS platforms, and we have different options. So we take their content and we'll either work with their instructional designers. We have our instructional designers here in Arizona that work with them. And then we design a plan around media experiences. We produce the media and then we load that content onto their LMS platform. The reason why things are changing is because we're doing a lot more integration with AI. Courses are becoming a lot more immersive. We're integrating chatbots. There's things that require a little bit of hosting. So it's no longer as easy as just loading something to your LMS. We're adding a little extra in terms of interactivity.
And are you creating that, like the training the AI on the content for them?
Yeah. We have I mean, it's amazing what you can do with vibe coding, but we are taking their content. It just depends on the type of IP. We're either building native systems or using systems combined with other LLMs to essentially add either chatbots or immersive experiences to their courses. So it's just a step above of your traditional asynchronous training, right? This way it's a little more immersive, it's dynamic, and then we're also producing content using AI models. I think it's very easy for everyone to say, oh, I can build a course in AI, right? I can use, for example, Synthesia, which is a common product, to build this video in 20 minutes. The problem is it doesn't look great, right? Have you seen those, not to bash Synthesia, I think they're going to be phenomenal in a few years. But right now, those AI talking post videos, they give a weird soulless experience. With that being said, we are leaders in the AI space, right? We're leaning into it. We know how to combine our skills with tools like that and other tools like Google Veo, Sora, things that produce video content. We know how to custom code interactivity to make things that are not just quickly done, but usable.
Hmm, that's wonderful. So how do you see, so you think about AI, what are some of the other good trends and changes you've seen over the last 10 years or so?
In terms of trends, I know AI, it's becoming a bit of a cliche, right? Every industry is talking about AI, but unfortunately, that cliche isn't going anywhere. So the trends that are important or that were important before AI still matter, but now we're going to be speaking about them in the context of AI. So in the e-learning space, for example, learning analytics, it's always a trend that matters, right? It's always a key point at conferences. We always talk about how we need to track measurable benefits better of our learning products, of our learning experiences. But now there's AI tools to make that a lot more feasible. So the same trends that we've been talking about in the past, whether if it's AR, VR learning, training in the metaverse, data analytics, we're still going to be focused on them, but now it's in the context of AI or powered by AI. So I'm still very excited. There's still a ton of capability. Unfortunately, we're fortunately and unfortunately, we're still evolving at a very rapid pace in this space. And I can tell some companies are just tired of keeping it up.
Hmm. That's a good point. There's sort of fatigue, right? Sometimes, which makes it hard for companies sometimes just to buy in or change vendors, or so it's a bit of friction. How does that play out in your marketing and trying to get new clients?
Well, there was a time where we were a little concerned because everyone's thinking, well, at the end of the day, we're all on the list of automation, right? It's just depends on how far down you are on the curve. Well, the good news is we are leaders in using automation to produce content better, more effectively, as well as faster. So, with our marketing content, we are big leaders in terms of showing what good e learning is. So, if you go to our YouTube channel, the Micro Learning Lab, you're going to see a ton of the work we've produced in the past, but then also things that we're exploring and experimenting with in the future, right? Things that we're starting to dabble with. We have an entire department dedicated to AI innovation and experimentation. So we're continuously producing content because we want to test it ourselves before we actually sell it to a client, right? We don't want to promise something tied to a software and have it produce something with extra fingers or be funky, right? We want to have absolute control as to how it works and how to harness it efficiently. So when it comes to marketing content, we are big believers in showing what good e-learning is, right? We're constantly doing experiments. We're posting it on our YouTube channel. We want to let the world know that you can actually use this software to make content more effective. Now, what I'm excited about specifically is everyone's expectations is going up, right? Everyone should be aware that you can almost produce a video instantly using Google VO, right? Video is becoming a lot more prominent, especially with all these AI tools. So the standards, the expectations are rising. But e-learning teams have this conundrum because now they have this pressure to actually build content in these rapidly evolving tools. And even for us, it's a bit challenging sometimes. For example, we produced a series of videos with different AI tools specifically for patient education, right? It was just a study. It was really exciting. We used Sora, Google VO, Adobe Firefly, Synthesia. We produced the exact same video, four different softwares, four different applications, and we presented them to a room. I spoke at a conference to a bunch of people that work in patient education, and they voted and said which one was best. Now those videos are almost out of date because the software has improved, the capabilities has improved significantly, right? Where some of the small bugs that you have in the past no longer exist. So things are continuously getting better. So it is difficult for e-learning teams to keep up, but we're kind of making it our job. It's what we're good at. And fortunately, we have a youthful and energetic team that's excited about the technology. We're building it into our culture.
Hmm. But how do you get the word out? So you have a lot of experiments to show and a lot of past client work to show. And you mentioned you put it on social media and YouTube. Do you do cold email outreach? Do you do Facebook ads? Do you do what have you used and what has worked well in terms of getting new clients?
We are primarily focused on SEO and partnering with key publications within the industry. So within the B2B space, our clients are going to be researching long before they reach out to you, right? It's very rare that they go to your site, book a call, and make a purchase the day of. And if they do, it's a small transaction, right? So typically, when companies reach out to us, they've been researching opportunities. They've done a lot of homework. They have a vision of what they want to create. They spent time on our YouTube channel. Maybe they connected with me on LinkedIn. So to answer your question, primarily SEO. We're exploring AEO. That's like the new AI trend we're trying to keep up with, investing in that heavily. And then I'm I'm fairly active on LinkedIn and YouTube. So those are our two areas. We don't do a lot of paid campaigns, and I think we should be doing more of it. But I've noticed in the industry, a lot of our competition, like Sweet Rush, Allencom, they're not running paid campaigns, not extensively. There are a few companies that are doing it, but we want to be known and build our brand first and let people find us through research as you should, right? If you're looking for a solution type to microlearning, research what good microlearning is. Try to find examples that you like and then determine the best path from there.
Cool. What does the future look like? What are your goals for the next year or so?
We want to build our reputation around three areas, specifically for association training. So we work with larger enterprises and associations, but I personally love associations because it's my background. We want to build our prominence, our branding, and create more community in that space. The next area is going to be tied to microlearning. We want everyone to think of Ninja Tropic as the microlearning provider. And we kind of already are. If you go to YouTube and you search microlearning examples, you're going to see hundreds of our examples of our work. And again, we always push our clients to let us show 30 seconds or 45 seconds worth of snippet worth because the industry needs to see what's possible. It's very frustrating that everything's behind a gate and everyone's expectations or standards are low because they think, hey, this is what everyone else is doing. So we're a big fan of showing what good e-learning is. And lastly, we are investing heavily into our AI development capabilities. So those are the three areas, and we're constantly experimenting, we're exploring, and I think we're doing an amazing job in all three.
Wonderful. How do people find out about you? ninjatropic.com?
Yeah, go to ninjatropic.com, go to YouTube, search microlearning examples. You're going to find our site and reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm always available on LinkedIn, but those are the three ways.
Thank you so much, Erick Prospero, Ninja Tropic. Check it out, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Oliver.